Welcome to episode 143 of Nobody Special.
In this episode, we talk about Christmas parties and showing the love of Christ.
The Gospel Outpost presents Nobody Special. Hey everybody, welcome to Nobody Special, two nobodies talking about the somebody who matters. I'm Danny, the host and Christmas party preacher of Nobody Special.
And I'm Caleb, the other host of Nobody Special. This is a podcast where two generations of people talk about God, pop culture, politics, and everything in between, all while not taking any of it too seriously.
Caleb, it's Christmas season, Christmas movie season time, so
yes.
We have to talk about a few movies. I'm just going to jump straight in.
All right.
Now, part of this is blacked out in the notes because I needed a hot take, but first, I want to talk about NBC had their annual performance of a live show that has, in the past, been described as a dumpster fire.
Right.
Appeared to have been filled with regrets. Actually, that was a criticism of Christopher Walken in Peter Pan. He played it as if he didn't want to be there and had gotten
Who
very
is he
drunk
playing in Peter
right
Pan?
before Hook.
Hey, I guess that works out.
Right. Like, it should have been good, but it wasn't. It was so bad.
Why'd you have to touch my shoulder for that, Jamie?
It was bad.
Don't you know that COVID is still a thing happening?
Not in this house. Not for us. I already gave it to you, so who knows? But they did the Grinch this year.
Yes.
And it looked fine.
It looked good. I love stuff like this. So
I think of their live performances, it was the best.
You know, I don't even know if this was NBC, but
it's fine.
Did you ever watch Grease live?
Yes, that was also
amazing.
NBC. I didn't see that one.
Amazing.
I think that was them.
Everything was great about that. But the Grinch one, we watched a little bit of it.
It was
good.
Fine. It was fine.
This guy's too nitpicky.
They're trending upward on their live performances, so I want to encourage them.
I don't know if they could get better than Grease, though, because that was perfect. It was all perfect. Every single bit of it.
I super think the story of Grease is stupid.
Well, I think you're stupid, so I guess we can move on from this conversation.
Well, I mean, it's okay until the end where they get in a pink Cadillac and fly away, and people are just like, could they have done that the whole time? And like, why didn't you, this is like, oh, and there are aliens. Bye.
The one I want.
No, but there's a special movie coming out. Caleb, I'm going to
almost read this.
Read the actual description. Okay.
This is an actual movie. I'm not going to look at my notes.
Well,
all right?
It's a mini movie.
What does that mean? A short film?
No.
Somewhere in between?
For reasons that will become very apparent very quickly.
Okay, read it. I'm ready.
See, you say you're ready, but you're not ready. Because as soon as I saw this, the first thing I thought was, oh, I bet Caleb has not seen this because we do not go in the same circles on the internet.
Yeah,
there's no way he's seen this. Okay,
I'm gonna close my eyes.
This is a real movie premiering on the Lifetime Network.
Okay.
On Sunday, the 13th.
The 13th.
At noon. The coveted Sunday noon slot.
Okay. What? Wait. On what channel?
Lifetime.
Lifetime. All right. I'm going to close my eyes. I'm going to imagine this.
I'm not going to be able to get through this without laughing. Colonel Harlan Sanders has a steamy and savory love affair with a young heiress who must choose between her young chef with a dream of fried chicken glory and a wealthy, duplicitous suitor handpicked by her mother.
What?
Starring Mario Lopez.
No way.
As
Who's that?
Colonel Sanders.
Who's Mario Lopez? I can only imagine.
A Recipe for Seduction.
Is that the actual subtitle?
No, that's not the subtitle.
That's the title.
The title.
A Recipe for Seduction. This is
actually
KFC branded?
Yes.
Oh, I'm watching this.
Yes. It's called A Recipe for Seduction, starring Mario Lopez.
It's going to be finger looking good.
They actually took that part out of their slogan because COVID, by the way.
Did they actually?
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
You can't get rid of finger looking good.
It's just good. No, so when I tell you the trailer comes off as a telenovela, as in this is a 15-minute Spanish soap opera where Mario Lopez playing sexy Colonel Sanders.
Who is Mario Lopez?
Is
this like actual actors? Like famous actors?
Mario Lopez, yes.
Yes?
Yeah. He was in Saved by the Bell.
That doesn't ring a bell.
Well, that was before you were. I mean, he's done a lot of stuff. Here, hold on. I gotta pull him up.
I just need to see a picture.
Yeah, hold on. We can do that. But yeah, he's playing sexy Colonel Sanders, who has these dreams of fried chicken, and but he has to choose
Sexy
between fried chicken and a sexy Spanish rich lady.
It's weird that it's like Kentucky fried chicken and then there's just like Spanish culture.
Yeah, so KFC they've been doing this thing in their marketing department where they've gone with no idea is a bad idea and let's do it. For instance, I'm pretty sure they made a Dungeons and Dragons campaign. I think that was them. That might have been Wendy's. Anyway, they also have 3 different actors playing Colonel Sanders. Well, now they have 4. 4 different actors playing Colonel Sanders in all their commercials. Just depending on which one you're trying to get.
I don't know if this was just a dream or me, but did I see Jim Gaffigan as Colonel Sanders?
Yes, he is one of them. Yeah.
Okay.
I think
I wasn't sure if I made that up or not. But it was great. I love Jim Gaffigan.
Sure. I mean, he's great, but like, what is happening? Colonel Sanders, are you okay? This guy?
Oh. Yeah.
A Recipe for Seduction.
What does our world come to? You know, there's so many films that need to be made out there that are just like in people's heads that would be awesome. It could be the next like Goonies. And then we
have a Recipe for Seduction.
We toss money towards something like this.
So, guess how long it is?
Please tell me it's not feature length.
No, it's just 15 minutes.
Oh, it's a short film.
No, they're calling it a mini movie.
It's a short film.
But they're calling it a short film movie. They're also airing it on Lifetime, so like I don't know what their plans are. I think a short
film sounds indie, and that's why they don't want to use it. Maybe a mini movie.
And this is a joke. It's got to be self-aware. There's no way they're thinking like, no, we want to take this plot seriously.
Oh
like,
yeah, no.
There has to be a moment that he's about to kiss her. And then
especially with like 15 minutes.
Oh, 11 herbs and spices. And then he comes back and is like, I can't give up on my 11 herbs and spices. And then he never sees her again and moves to Kentucky. Also, he's a colonel, and I don't think they addressed that.
What is it? What is a colonel?
It's like a military ranking.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what I thought. I always thought he was like just a retired military person.
So, on Sunday at noon, all right, be sure that you've gone to church that day, because I'm sure someone will definitely need prayer after going through this movie. And then it'll be available on like streaming services, probably the internet for free, because like there's no way. It's a 15-minute commercial for Kentucky Fried Chicken that has murder and chicken and drama, and I'm like, I will need to be watching this over and over. So if my pastor is paying attention to this podcast, please preach quickly so we can all get home and turn on the Lifetime channel, which I'll be honest is not a channel I turn on ever, so we can watch the Kentucky Fried Chicken movie.
Yeah.
Caleb, what's going on?
I don't know.
What's happening in the world?
2020 doesn't feel real anymore.
This has to be a weird excuse. Like, this is an experiment, right? Did you hear about that?
I think it's just a marketing thing, to be honest. It's got to be.
Well, yeah, but
it's just for marketing.
But why would you do why would this be the solution you have for
shock factor? Are you shocked? We're both shocked. I'm shocked. I'm paying attention. I want some KFC now.
I'm actually hoping it's really good. You know, like
what'd you say?
I want it to be
finger licking good.
No, because that phrase is a bummer.
What?
I don't like it. It just bums me out.
That's a great phrase. And the only reason that Doritos isn't using it is because KFC got it first. And also, KFC, I feel like I never really get anything there that like my fingers get dirty from. So, maybe you're wrong.
Maybe. I'm willing to concede I could be wrong on this one. But I do know that if I have options as I'm going to Christmas parties of bringing either Kentucky Fried Chicken or Doritos, Doritos are my go-to for most things that they say, and bring a snack for the table. Actually, I have a few. Just for like, this is how I do Christmas parties. First of all, I love macaroni salad. So here's what I do. And I'm super sad that I'm admitting this in a public fashion because now I think I have to stop doing it. If it's a everyone bring part of a lunch thing, I will get a macaroni salad with the understanding that I'm probably taking it home. And I'm super okay with that because no one else eats that garbage. And I'm just like, I love it so much. And so
just the taste, I can taste it in my mouth right now, and it makes me want to vomit.
And so I've contributed because I love this stuff. I do get something else because I'm not just trying to cheapskate my way through this, but I do get something else. But go like, oh, we have macaroni salad this week. Thank you, Publix. And then I'll get something else with like Doritos. Doritos are a go-to. And they are finger looking good, absolutely, especially the Cool Ranch.
Yeah,
the Cool Ranch is the best flavor of Doritos, ironically.
No.
Are you a classic boy?
I think I really enjoy Cool Ranch, but I think there's just something about nacho cheese that recently I've come to admire.
I mean, I get it, but it doesn't taste like nacho cheese.
That's not the point. It tastes good. All right.
It tastes like what.
Do you think Cool Ranch tastes like ranch?
Yes.
Also, what does Cool Ranch even mean? Does it have mint in it?
No, it's fresh. It's hip. It's one of the cool farmers.
It's Cool Ranch. You wouldn't understand this ranch.
It's the edgy millennial farmer who wants someone to do the farming for him.
Farm? What are you talking about?
Yeah, a ranch.
Like ranch dressing is the flavor. You know that, right?
I
need to know that you know that. I know,
but the word ranch and farm are connected in my head because cowboys. Listen, I know they're not actually connected, but that is the mental process I go through.
You're right.
All right, so go-to snacks to a Christmas party.
I don't have any.
What do you bring?
I don't go to parties.
You don't?
No, I'm just kidding. I do. I was trying to make it I don't have friends joke, but I couldn't. I don't know.
We all know you have friends. They're all listening to this podcast right now.
I know.
Hi, guys.
I think a go-to, I don't really have one. I can tell you what I did bring as a snack.
Okay.
To one Christmas party. Is just some salsa and queso. You can't go wrong.
Right. Did you bring chips for them?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm like, chips. You monster. I brought the queso. We have
Here's
nothing to
jars.
put these on. No, see, I appreciate that because too many times people try and go the overly Christmas thing, and you kind of got to get the go-to foundational snacks. You got to get the chips, you got to get the dips, and the vegetables going to these Christmas parties.
Vegetables? Nah.
Carrots and celery.
No.
Love carrots and celery, absolutely.
Celery? Yeah. I can do only if I've had 10 wings beforehand.
I just eat celery. Celery's delicious.
Nah, celery is pretty good.
Yeah. So got to get the kind of the fundamental party snack foods. Chex Mix is in there. And if it's a spicy party, Bugles. And I don't care how old you are, you still put those little bad boys on your finger and be like, I'm a witch at least once, no matter the holiday.
Also, going back to celery, can you believe as kids that we used to eat peanut butter on celery?
That's delicious.
That sounds gross to me now.
It's not. It's fantastic.
And then take it a step further, which I have never liked raisins, so I would never do. But freaking put raisins on it?
Yeah.
What?
It's ants on a log, and it's the best snack in the world.
Ants on a log.
Ants on a log.
The things we do to get kids to eat freaking vegetables.
Now, granted, I'm not going to bring this to a Christmas party, but I am going to bring the fundamentals.
I brought ants on a log.
Yeah, that's
Who says that? No one.
Yeah, well, I mean, some people bring them, but they have to be done well at that point, and I don't have the craft skill to be able to do it. So,
I haven't seen ants on a log since I think I was in elementary school.
Oh, you'll see them next week. That's what we're having.
Well, you can have them. More for you.
Excellent. Just like my macaroni salad. We're having macaroni salad and ants on a log. Oh. No. Is there kind of a go-to Christmas food that you enjoy the most, though?
I mean, gosh, I don't know. I really don't know. I would say, the Pillsbury cookies with the pictures on them. You already know this.
Yes, yeah.
I love those things.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Like, anytime I think about, like, a Christmas treat or a Halloween treat even, like, those are the two things that... That's the one thing that comes to my mind.
It's just the different configuration of food coloring that you like.
Yeah.
There's a Christmas treat. It's the same cookie.
But they're so good, especially dipped in milk.
Yeah. Absolutely. I prefer the logs.
The logs.
They're essentially a Swiss roll, but a kaiju. I mean, they're the massive Swiss rolls.
Oh, like where it's like pumpkin and cream cheese.
I mean, there's a few different flavors of them, but
Red Velvet is probably one you like.
It is one that I like, absolutely. But no, they're great. Yeah, they're Swiss roll kaijus. That's fine, right?
Kaijus? Are you using a Pacific Rim reference? Or is that just a term that's
a term
big?
This is gonna really devolve into a really nerdy conversation, and I'm trying to stay as close to Christmas party as I can. A kaiju is essentially a normal thing, but of a bigger size. So Godzilla is a kaiju. It isn't just a big monster; it's a monster that is bigger than it should be. Essentially, that's a really bad definition of kaiju. But
what language does this derive from?
Oh, Japanese. Just say weeb and move on.
All right, weeb.
There we go. So, for Christmas parties, though, I do enjoy those, and those are pretty good. And I know this is a time where all of us are going to a lot of different Christmas parties because many of us have a couple of different jobs or a couple of different places. There's our Connect group Christmas party, our church Christmas party, our work Christmas party, and everything else in between. And for a few of us, we are hosting Christmas parties. And to that, Paul David Tripp put out a few different things, and to be clear, I adore this man. There are 3 people in my book that are permitted to have facial hair. Paul David Tripp is one of them. That is the best mustache I've ever seen. He is a delightful human being, a great pastor, and I'm honored to even have gone through any of his content. So he puts out a video called "Don't Preach at Your Christmas Party." I'll put it in the... I'll put it in the description to be able to check it out. And he brought up a few different points in there that I really wanted to talk about. The main thing is he brought up that don't view the Christmas party as an opportunity to preach the gospel. I'm not quoting, I'm paraphrasing, and I'm probably misparaphrasing, but he brought up that the Christmas party isn't the place to preach. It's a place to demonstrate the gospel, but not necessarily speaking to preach the gospel. And I'd say like 95% of this I'm okay with. There was just a 5% that I wanted to talk about because it kind of struck me wrong, and I actually played through it like 5 or 6 times just to think about it. And I guess the concern I was having is I think the thing he said isn't the thing some people heard, and I wanted to talk about that a bit. So as I was thinking about it, I think putting a blanket statement on "don't preach at Christmas parties," that I get the idea behind it, but I caution against those kind of blanket statements.
Yeah, I think for me, blanket statements can be dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
I think a majority of people understand what he's saying. I really do, and I think that's why he was probably fine saying it in that way, because he knew a majority of people would probably be like, yeah, they know what he's saying. But
maybe I don't know.
And I think the term like preach, for me at least, was the right word choice, because I don't think preaching is something that's like meant to do like one-on-one, if that makes sense. And I think it's meant to be a broad speaking of the gospel to people. Like, does that make sense to you?
Somewhat,
like,
yeah.
Like, I wouldn't imagine, like, and I think when it is on one-on-one, like, that's when it's used in a negative context. Like, oh, they were preaching at me. You know, like.
But this context, he's not talking about one-on-one. He's talking about preaching at the Christmas party. No. He's talking about people are coming over for a Christmas party, and don't stand up there and go, "Thank you all for coming now for my 30-minute presentation on the gospel." And I'll be honest, like, that's the part I fully agree with. I mean, I don't know why Christianity for the past 3 decades has thought the tactic of bait and switch is the best tactic for things. I actually think it is totally ineffective and a little bit dishonest.
Right.
Of telling them, no, it's just going to be. I mean, student groups do this all the time, and I feel as if it is a bit dishonest. It's yeah, we're going to be a lock-in at the church. Also, Dave's going to speak for like 30 minutes to an hour on the gospel, and it's like, yeah, I just want to stay up late and eat pizza. And it has this kind of effect of people gain an immunity to the gospel because people have been trying to trick them into the gospel for years and years and years, and that part I think is not great and makes Christianity appear really bad. I mean, if I'm coming to a Christmas party, I'm not thinking I'm coming to an hour kind of sermon or a dramatic telling of, you know, Brother Gary stands up like,
right,
and now we will read from Luke 2 through Luke 17, and you're like, whoa, what are we doing? That's too much.
I think,
you know?
I think, like, for me, the difference lies in like what I think he's definitely trying to get at is like preaching is more of like a lecture based thing, in my mind at least. Like, it's not a conversation you're having. Like, that's different, and that's what I would imagine. Like. Like Jesus, when he was with people, like, he was not preaching. He did have times where he preached, but like most of the time, like when he went over to what's-his-face's house, like he was having a conversation,
right?
Like he wasn't going to be like, I mean, and he could because he's Jesus, but
he preached all the time.
Yeah, no, he did. That's what I'm saying. But there were
frequently
specific contexts for that, like,
right?
And it wasn't ever like
sometimes it was just take the opportunity. I mean, there were many impromptu preaching opportunities that came up that he just took because it was the opportunity that came up. I mean, that was... people didn't schedule like, Jesus is going to be talking at the 8th hour of the day over at the temple. Occasionally, it's just people came to him to hear him teach.
That's what I'm saying. But I'm saying,
no, hold on. But you said he didn't preach that often. I'm like,
no,
he
that's not what
did.
I'm saying. I'm saying that he went, like, when he was with people, like, not with people in general. I'm talking about with people, like when he went to, I don't even know, the wee little man, like
Zacchaeus,
like when he was hanging out with him, and like when he was like doing it, like when it was more of a personal context. Like most of the time he was not just like, all right, I'm gonna talk to you for 30 minutes, like just one direction, just like fire hose you. And it's like, and I think that's kind of the point.
It comes off that you're saying the context of it is important, and not that these two things are at odds.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
They were both just as beneficial, like,
yes,
is my point here.
Yeah. And
I think they can both be damaging to each other in different contexts. Like,
so I guess the pushback I'm having on this is, and again, Paul David Tripp is an amazing person who I have nothing but honor for in all of his work. Go check him out immediately. His stuff's fantastic. Is that this creates an out that I don't think it gives a person an out that if they're on the fence about a thing that they may be called to do, they go like, well, this just isn't the... I mean, man, as far as telling people about the gospel, all of us are the king of excuses. Like, well, it's too hot out. Well, they might, might do this. They might do this. And, and to be honest, I think saying that there isn't an opportunity to preach at a Christmas party is just too blanket of a statement, because if an opportunity comes up, take the shot, Scooter. Like, I mean, if it comes up and people are saying, it's like, well, Dave, all of us are at your house. Tell us what this Christmas is about. Don't go like, Paul David Tripp told me I can't. Like that's like, go for it at that point. Don't take the out.
Yeah, I think that's the key factor here is like, and what I was talking with you earlier about, it was just like, and you did think it was too simple, but for me, it's like if I feel like the Holy Spirit is calling me to do that,
right,
then I'm gonna do it. And if not, then I'm just going to show, I'm just going to be Christ to those people. Like, just be loving and kind. Right. And that's kind of what he's saying. And I think that, like, I would agree with you. Like, I think that there are people who might listen to this, and I'm very similar, where it's like, oh, finally, I have an excuse. Okay.
Right.
I'm off the hook. I don't have to talk to my family members about Jesus this year. But I think also, like, I know the people that he is talking to. Like, I can think of 3 people in my head right now that would need to hear this.
Sure, absolutely. But if I had to pick between a person that is over giving the gospel or under giving the gospel, I would rather have a person who is over giving it. I'd like to because it is clear. I do think it's important to be paying attention to the Spirit and all this, and understanding the things that need to be done and things to say, trusting God in that. I mean, that's so clear Scripture. But it's the part I'm kind of on the fence about is there are times where I have a doubt or a question, and so by default, I'd rather err on communicating the gospel instead of err on not communicating the gospel. Do you know what I mean? If I'm thinking, all right, I feel as if I might need to give a gospel presentation here, then I need to be okay doing that, but at the same time, I don't want to not do it because or create a reason where it's acceptable to not do it. Do you know what I mean? If I'm thinking I'm called to do it, then I just need to do it, even if it makes people feel awkward, because I don't know the thing the Spirit's doing. The Spirit could be doing a whole bunch of stuff in there that I just don't know, and maybe there is a person in there that kind of prayed before they came in, like, God, I need someone to share the gospel tonight, or something's going to happen. And then to say, don't ever do this at a Christmas party, I think creates this unnecessary tension of, these are places it's okay to do it, and these are places it's not, because God doesn't honor those boundaries at all. God is intense in being over all these places, and if I have created a space I can't proclaim the glory of God, then it's almost as if I'm creating a place in telling God he can't go there.
Right. And I mean, I get your point. I think that's fair. I think that that's not really what he's communicating. I mean, I think that, like, his title, what was his title again? It was like,
Don't preach at your Christmas party.
Yeah, like, I think that can be very, and you even said before, like, it's just clickbaity.
Oh, it was absolute, and it worked because he got at least 6 views out of me.
Yeah.
Because, like, I got to think about that, you know?
But I think that, like, from the actual message of the video, I don't really think that's what he was trying to say.
No.
And I think the clear point was just like, a lot of us can be focused on our presentation of the gospel rather than how we actually are acting towards people.
Oh, yeah. There was a great quote in there that I actually pulled out of make your life preach so that you have opportunities to tell the story. Because I think on the other end of that, people, they think they got a pass in being in kind of displaying Christ in their actions because they preached a really bad 15-minute sermon at a very awkward time for people.
Right.
No, he's actually saying that if Christ is the foundation of all things, it's going to come out and people are going to notice. And if they don't, then that's a real question people they need to ask internally of is their faith actually on a display?
Yeah.
But no, I do think his bigger point, which is fantastic, is your everything needs to proclaim Christ. Thoughts, words, and deeds all need to proclaim Christ, period. If Christ is preeminent, if Christ is before all things, then Christ is the foundation of all aspects of who you are, and everything is built on him. And if a person can come into my home during a Christmas type of celebration and at a minimum not get any understanding of Jesus Christ, then I would say that's problematic. Because kind of the thing I'm concerned is that people, they either scrolled through it and just got the title, or they played through it and thought, okay, I need to scrub Jesus out of the Christmas party, because that's actually not the thing he's saying. And a thing I don't think any pastor that is worth his stole is actually claiming either. Don't scrub Jesus out of the party, but understand the proper context and the best manner of bringing people to him.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's a good thing to say, this is a place where the proclamation of the gospel cannot happen.
Right.
So I guess that's the kickback that I've had.
It can happen anywhere. That's
yeah.
just the reality. I mean, and I think that's why it's important to just realize when the Spirit is leading you to do that. Because it's I don't know. I always go back to the scripture. I don't even think it really has to do a lot with this, but where Paul talks about the lofty speech,
right?
And how we try and soup up, what we're saying, and kind of we have to carry part of the burden of the presentation of the gospel or the impact of it, with how we are saying it, which just is not the case at all. And it's kind of what Paul is saying is to kind of insulting to God a little bit for us to think that we can help in that sense.
I have to better the gospel by painting it in a manner that is fake.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's not related, but I think it can be similar if we're not. And I think what I got from this mainly is just how can I be this wielder of the gospel if I am unloving, unkind, impatient, and then I get up there and I'm Jesus is great, he loves you, and he died for you on the cross, ultimately God can use that whatever way he wants. But I know for a lot of people it's well, what the crap, this guy's kind of a jerk and he's telling me about and I don't think that's oftentimes the case. I think the better way to put it is we need to be focusing more on our subtle actions towards people, our character in Christ and sanctification, more than the actual time or the actual words that is proclaiming the gospel.
I'm going to nitpick the words because I'm a miserable human being.
Because I didn't say it very properly.
There's this trend that even I'm guilty of doing, of putting things on this comparative scale of we got to focus on this more, I think the better understanding is don't just preach at your Christmas party.
Yes.
Like, because it's not a comparative.
No, they're both important.
Yeah.
And everyone.
I mean, don't do this
different.
more. Do them in their proper proportion as directed by the Lord. But that doesn't fit on a coffee mug. So what do you do with that? And I think it's important though that all the things are prepared, and there's an understanding at the time that a person is called upon to give them, either by opportunity, invitation, or anything else, that they're able to communicate the gospel and all that behind them. I mean, in 1 Peter 3:13 through number 16, it actually kind of puts that out in a few different manners to do that. So, Caleb, do you want to read that?
Now, who is there to harm you if you are zealous for what is good? But even if you should suffer for righteousness' sake, you will be blessed. Have no fear of them, nor be troubled, but in your hearts honor Christ the Lord as holy, always being prepared to make a defense to anyone who asks you for a reason for the hope that is in you. Yet do it with gentleness and respect, having a good conscience, so that when you are slandered, those who revile your good behavior in Christ may be put to shame.
So I think this is even the foundation of the argument Paul David Tripp's talking about is this passage of when at all times we need to be prepared to give a reason to the hope we have, and that means in season, out of season, during church time, during not church time. The evidence of our hope is present, but to also do it in a manner that is gentle and honors the other person a bit too. I think that's the kind of point that you're trying to make too, is that I actually fully agree with the whole bait and switch idea of kind of like, hey, we're having a free pizza. You just have to sit through a 3-hour presentation first. Like, no! Yeah. That's not gentle or honoring to the other person. Yeah. And when we communicate the gospel to them, we want to communicate it in a way that communicates it in a manner that God would communicate it. I mean, Christ came to be with us. That was an act of mercy and an act of grace. Yeah. Christ came into our world to be with us, to understand us, and actually took time to connect in order to bring us back to himself. And I think just charging ahead and a fair amount of quote unquote strategies don't always produce the fruit that we think they're going to produce. I mean, preaching at a Christmas party, to be honest, I actually agree with Pastor Tripp on this probably isn't the place. But at the same time, I'm going to keep it open but maybe it is. And if there's a way to do that that's glorifying to God and gentle, and I can do it in good conscience, then I need to do it. Yeah. Because, I've been the most impacted by things I wasn't prepared for. Do you know what I mean? Right. So that's kind of the only, I guess, caution I have is, I know the thing he's trying to say, and I'm not even really pushing back on it. I actually think it's a fantastic point. But if there's an opportunity that's an actual opportunity, take the opportunity. Because God has stirred up in the strangest of things that none of us think are effective, good, or any of that. And God has done some amazing things in those times, and I'm not trying to discount those or write them off.
Yeah, I think that's important. Like, ultimately, just like the fact that no matter how much we want to be prepared for something or whatever, like, ultimately God is going to work through that no matter what. And he works through things that, like, sometimes we don't expect, like you're saying. Like, and ultimately that's just like a testament to his power and glory, is that, like, it's not about us. It's just about us being ready to be used by God. Mm-hmm. And I think that's, that's the important part.
Absolutely. And no matter the boundary, the place, or anything else, we need to be prepared to be used by God and give an answer to the hope that all of us actually have.
Right.
And if our hope is in Jesus Christ, who broke down all the barriers and came to be in our world, then that is our standard of places that are okay to preach. It's places where the barriers have been broken down. And there isn't a place that God cannot be.
Yeah.
So anyway, I know that, trying to figure out the way to be Christian during Christmas time can be difficult because this is kind of a weird, it's a weird time. And we've even talked about it, of trying to get back to the spirit of Advent almost.
Yeah.
And don't say reason for the season. Don't say reason for the season. Don't say reason for the
reason
season.
for the season.
Gosh darn it. Trying to get back to that. So Caleb, what are a few things we can do to show people the gospel during this Christmas time? I'll start. I'll take the easy one.
Yeah.
Invite people to church. Yeah. I mean, it's especially Christmas Eve. It's such a clear, easy win. The pastor will usually not go on that long because he knows that this is like a time for gospel presentation. Invite people to church. It's an easy win. And many people, they've done all kinds of studies on this. Many people, they claim that they would go to church if somebody asked them. Yeah. So go ahead and go like, oh, I might be embarrassed, whatever. And then just take that thought and just like put it on the edge of the table and just Garfield it off the table and go for it. Because many people, they say like, I'd go if someone asked me. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I think a second one, this is a shout out to my mom. Love you, Mom.
Release the Karen. I wanted that to be more honoring, and it came out horribly wrong.
She's self-conscious about her name now.
She is a saint of a human being. I've talked about this before. I'll say it again. As a youth pastor, I had a very strict Karen Clow gets what Karen Clow asks for because she's a better person than you. Yeah. She's amazing. That's anyway, so if I say release the Karen, that's not what I mean, and I'm sorry.
She's a better person than you, and she's not afraid to tell you that.
No, she wouldn't, though. That's the thing. I know, she definitely wouldn't do it.
I'm just trying to lean into the Karen.
And at a minimum, she actually listens to this podcast, unlike other moms.
That's true.
Mother.
But my mom sent a text to us, and she was like telling us to like look out for people who are alone on Christmas or need somewhere to hang out, and so that we can invite them to our like kind of Christmas. It's not a party, just Christmas. Like we just hang out on Christmas. Yeah. And I think that's important. Like, who are the people in your life that don't have somewhere to be on Christmas that you can invite? And I know it's like, it feels so awkward because it's just like, oh, I just want to have a chill Christmas with my family, and it's like, right. But I think that that's just a good opportunity to just show the love of Christ and to be kind. Not that like it may be uncomfortable for you, and it may be just uncomfortable in general, but like it's important to invite people into your life sometimes. Yeah, I think that God can use that for sure.
And kind of a sub point to that, and this is going to get real for a second. Single people or people that aren't close to their parents or any of that tend to just like stay at home. Here's the deal. If someone invites, you go. Don't do, well, they're just saying that to be nice. Whatever, their fault then. I mean, like it's man, that's fine.
So true.
But don't do that thing of just like, oh, I might be a burden, or oh, if it's their family time. There, I know of pastor after pastor after pastor that makes a conceited effort to go. There are people in our church, some of them in college towns, that they just don't have mom and dad there, and they can't go home, and they need a place to go. And it is they aren't doing it out of pity or anything else. They are doing it as a kindness of, you are the part of the body of Christ. And so single people that either aren't going home or their parents aren't coming to any place, get over it. Go to someone's house.
Yeah.
Bring some gift of some kind. Doesn't have to be anything extravagant, but do bring a thing, and then just go and show up. It's important to be adopted by a home away from home. So, man, I've been in that stage before. Go. They're going to offer, and take them up on that.
And I think you brought up a good point. You kind of joked about it, but like, I think in general, not even just this, but in general, like, start taking. I was talking about this with someone the other night. Like,
right.
Start taking people's offers at face value.
Right.
And if they didn't mean that,
right,
that's their fault.
Right.
And then next time they'll learn it and be like, oh,
right.
I should be more honest
right.
up front.
Right.
And then there you go. Right. And then we just have a better world in general.
I have had that. I was like, oh, you should come over sometime. Yeah, when? I think we're busy that night. We didn't say a date. Would you like? What you want to do? What you want to do, jerk? You know, like.
Yeah.
Anyway, so like, if an offer is gonna go out, then the offer is out, and if the offer is out, hey, single people, go for it. Yeah. Seriously.
Yeah, single people.
I'm gonna get so many now that I've said. Oh, this is. I have plans. No.
Yeah. Is that you dinging?
Huh? No one's dinging.
What?
Anyway,
keep going. Jingle bells in my head.
Yes.
Tis the season. All right, you have the next one.
Oh, I do. Also, celebrate celebrate Christmas in a God-honoring way. It's incredibly easy to get swooped up into the hoopla of all Christmas. I said the hoopla.
Hoopla!
Thank you. Of all the spending, all the other stuff, and to miss the point in its entirety.
Yeah.
This isn't the time that God gives a get out of debt free card or the special credit card or any of that. All the biblical principles still apply. I'd say a positive of COVID is no one died in a Black Friday sale for like the first time in years because we were all indoors. But the fact that was even happening is like, good grief, we've missed the point. Yep. Stupid Tickle Me Elmo. There were casualties from Tickle Me Elmo.
I hate
tramplings.
Elmo. I'm scared of Elmo.
Tramplings. So anyway, understand that. Don't say reason for the season. Don't say reason for the season. Don't say reason for the season. Okay, we're good. That there is a reason for this Advent time frame.
Yes.
There we go. And
take the fun out of it.
And and it isn't to kill each other and go into debt and to stress.
To kill each other. That was not where I thought you were going to go, but you did. Number 4.
I'm not wrong, though. I'm not wrong.
I think just in general, this isn't just for Christmas, but like being sanctified, like just be extra intentional about like loving people and being kind and being generous and just patient, loving, all the words. And I think that ultimately like just represent Christ well. And I think that this is a different type of season too, because I feel like you're around a lot more people than you typically are. There's a lot more parties and hangouts going on where you can show like what we were talking about before, where you can show the love of Christ and have that hope in you without even having to bring it up sometimes.
And nobody got drunk at the Christmas party for the glory of God. I'm just gonna call it. Never happened.
What?
At the Christmas parties, you still have to act in a way that is God honoring. Nobody ever got drunk in the name of God. Like, this was for you, Jesus. Like, that's not. Jesus is like, we should have cut you off. I need to start turning wine into water for you, homie. Like, it's not.
Here's some bread too.
Yeah. Have more of the bread than the wine this time. You gotta soak that up. It's too much.
Yes.
No, but I do think the whole Christmas idea of like just don't the bare minimum. This is the thing why, and I've said it before. I'm gonna say it again.
Yeah.
David Platt's book is phenomenal. It's just misnamed. It's not radical at all. The fact that we think that the bare minimum of Christianity is now considered a radical, I think shows a deeper systemic problem. But just at a bare minimum, like, don't be a jerk this Christmas. Everyone's stressed. Tensions are high. This is such an opportunity to give people love, joy, peace, and hope. and point them to Christ. Because we haven't had any of those things for 9 months. Like that, this is the equivalent of throwing fish in a barrel, but spiritually. Like it's that type of a mentality of the things Christianity offers are the things the world is trying to find. So they, as people find us, they should be able to find Jesus in the process.
Yeah, for sure.
Don't be a jerk for Jesus.
Don't be a jerk for Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
I thought you were about to hit the Jesus juke button. I was like, that's kind of lame.
No, that's not.
It's not a juke. No,
it's not a juke. It's a pastoral alliteration.
Yeah, there you go.
But that's a whole different thing I have to make now.
Turning a new leaf. You're getting some Joel Osteen in you. I knew that would hurt you. I'm sorry. That was mean.
Emotionally hurts me. That's the thing. I actually said this to a friend, and then we'll wrap up. This isn't connected to anything, but I actually said to a friend of mine, it's like, we could be richer pastors if we really sold out and said a lot of really dumb stuff. And he was like, right. I know, right? like this is dumb, you know? Like, it'd be easy to be a megachurch pastor. You just gotta sell out a lot and put on a nice suit.
Yeah.
And that... So if I ever lose my mind and start doing that, it's for the money. Like, it's...
No,
yeah.
You're not gonna do that.
I'm not, but, like, if I do, you have permission... I'm not gonna say this on the podcast, never mind.
To smack you.
To smack me, but with the love of God.
Yeah.
And not what I was going to say.
But sometimes the love of God hurts. So
sometimes the love of God feels like a brick. Yeah. Like, ow, why?
Sometimes even a baseball bat. Who knows?
It's for Jesus.
Just gonna get real graphic.
That goes back to that. God's like, no, I didn't tell you to do that one either. Like, that's because of all the wine you drank at the Christmas party.
Yeah.
This for you, God. Gosh, this really went off the rails at the end. Well, Caleb, if they have, we want to hear from all of you guys as to things you do during Christmas to help point it back towards Advent and understand that Jesus is the purpose behind this segment of the calendar.
Yes. You can go to thegospeloutpost.com/nobodyspecial, and there's a form where you can just say hello or ask us a question if you want it to be featured on the podcast. And you can also find us on Instagram and Facebook at Nobody Special Podcast and follow us there. And you can also DM us there, and we'll see your questions or hellos there as well. And also YouTube.
Yes, we're on YouTube. These episodes come out every Tuesday. Please go ahead, give us a like, a comment, and subscribe, and hit the bell. That really helps us out a lot. I know it sounds really stupid, and I'm not going to dab this time. Hold on, I have to sneeze. Anyway, sorry. So if we could go ahead and hit the bell, like, comment, and subscribe. That's a video joke for our YouTube people who want to know. Also, special shout out. We have to do a special shout out to Mr. Chi-Chi, who has now given the best argument I've ever heard that Die Hard is indeed a Christmas movie. Yeah. It's a pretty airtight case.
It is. It's pretty airtight. And I know you don't want to admit that.
No, like it's a really. I'm having to rethink some things tonight.
Dang, that's crazy.
The only thing that doesn't have is, as I mentioned, because he brought up that it doesn't snow in LA, so they had the falling of paper. It gets back to family. It does all the things Christmas movies do. The only thing it doesn't have, that to me is a really important part of a Christmas movie, is the Christmas Ex Machina.
No, that's not an important part.
It is, though.
No, it's not.
It is. Anyway, but I'm considering it, so special shout out to Mr. Chi-Chi for blowing up our inbox with probably the greatest. Gosh, I might I'll find a way to post it. We'll post it. We'll post it on Instagram. We'll blur out your name.
Yes.
Or we won't.
Yeah. Maybe it's time for you to take the mask off. Mask off.
Nope. Copyright DMCA. Okay. Well, Caleb, I think that is going to do it for us today. So I'm Danny.
I'm Caleb.
And we are
Nobody Special.